All right, ready to dive into some interesting writing.
Sounds good.
Today we're taking a look at Digital Coffee.
Okay.
It's a Substack publication,
Ah.
kind of like an independent online magazine,
Hmm.
created by Christian Antonsen.
Ah, interesting.
And get this, he writes it in both Norwegian and English,
Wow.
making it a truly global coffee break.
That's pretty cool.
I am really curious about the name Digital Coffee. It's catchy, but what's the story there?
Well, Antonsen says that coffee is a drink you can enjoy in so many different contexts.
Oh, okay.
You know, a quick one in the morning, or a long chat with a friend, or even a relaxing moment with family after dinner. And that versatility seems to be reflected in the topics he covers in his Substack.
Yeah, he even mentions that after-dinner coffee with his family is his favorite.
I saw that.
What do you think that tells us about him?
Definitely suggests a strong appreciation for connection and, those everyday moments.
Yeah.
It seems to tie into the whole vibe of his publication.
Mm.
He's not aiming for, super academic or intensely serious discussions. Instead, he's creating a space for relaxed but engaging conversation on a range of subjects,
Right.
much like you might have over a cup of coffee.
So Digital Coffee reflects that relaxed conversational approach and the variety of topics.
Right.
But what about the digital part? I mean, coffee isn't exactly high-tech.
That's where Antonsen's background comes in.
Okay.
He is a teacher and a former IT manager.
Really?
There's this clear thread of technology throughout his interests and his experiences.
Interesting.
He even shares a funny story about the classic turn it off and on again solution from his IT days.
Oh, yeah, classic.
It's like,
You remember
yeah.
those?
Absolutely, we've all been there.
Oh, for sure.
But how does that connect back to the broader themes of digital coffee?
Well, he links that experience to his thoughts on technology and education, which he seems to have a lot of interesting opinions on.
I see.
He's observed that new technology often leads to, frustration.
And even calls for bans in the classroom.
Right.
But eventually that same technology often becomes a really important tool for learning.
He calls cutting-edge technology a dual-edged sword,
Yeah.
which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
There's so much potential, but it's clear we need to approach it carefully.
Absolutely.
It sounds like he's thought deeply about this, especially in the context of education.
Definitely. And his diverse background probably plays a big role in that.
Oh, that's right.
He's not just a teacher and former IT manager, but also a radio amateur.
Hold on, a radio amateur.
Yeah.
That's a side of him I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, his call sign is LB30H, if you're curious.
Wow, tell me more about that world.
Well, it's a fascinating hobby.
Okay.
Radio amateurs are often vital in setting up emergency communications during crises. So he's not just a tech enthusiast.
Wow.
Potentially a lifesaver, too.
That's incredible. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we uncover another layer of Antonsen, it gets more interesting.
It really does.
But wait, there's more. Apparently, he's also passionate about electronic music.
No, right?
And used to be a DJ.
Yeah.
What can't this guy do?
It's remarkable, right? And it all seems to flow back into that digital coffee theme.
It does, yeah.
You've got music, technology, personal reflections, education. It's all brewed together.
Right.
It speaks to a curious mind that connects seemingly different interests in unexpected ways.
Okay, so we've got the coffee, the digital, and now the music, and the teacher, and the tech expert, and the radio operator.
It's a lot.
It seems like this publication is a true reflection of all those different facets of his personality.
Yeah, it does.
And somehow it all works together.
It does.
But he's not stopping there.
Oh.
He even mentions wanting to explore AI in his Substack. What's he got planned there?
Well, Antonsen seems especially fascinated by AI and its potential. He's already using AI-generated images in his work.
Oh, wow.
He even has ideas about using AI to create individualized math problems for his students. Wow.
Imagine the possibilities for personalized learning.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, my brain is buzzing with all these different facets of Christian Antonsen and digital coffee.
It's a lot to take in.
He seems like the kind of person who is constantly learning and exploring.
Yeah, definitely.
But before we get too carried away, I want to take a step back and really delve into his thoughts on technology in education.
Okay.
We touched on it briefly, but I think there's so much more to unpack there.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely worth exploring further.
Yeah.
He has some really interesting and nuanced perspectives on how technology is changing the educational landscape, both for better and for worse.
Right.
And I think his experience as both a teacher and an IT professional gives him a really unique vantage point.
Absolutely.
He talks about how technology can be both a distraction and a really powerful tool for learning.
Right.
And he really emphasizes using it thoughtfully and strategically, rather than just throwing tech into the classroom without a clear purpose.
That makes so much sense.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype of new technology, but it's so crucial to step back and consider how it can really help students and teachers.
Right.
He also seems to be advocating for a more balanced approach,
Yeah.
recognizing the value of both traditional teaching methods and new innovations.
Absolutely. He doesn't see technology as a replacement for good teaching, but more as a way to enhance and expand the possibilities.
I see.
And I think that balanced perspective is really refreshing these days when technology often seems to dominate everything.
It really does.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder how his personal interests, like electronic music and his background as a DJ, influence his thinking about technology and education.
Oh, interesting.
It seems like there could be some interesting connections there.
Yeah, it's as if he sees the creative and expressive potential of technology, not just the functional aspects.
Right.
And that might inform how he uses it in the classroom, encouraging students to explore and experiment in new ways.
It all seems to tie back to his overall philosophy of learning and exploration, which is so evident in Digital Coffee.
Yeah.
It's not just articles. It's a reflection of his own journey and a space for sharing those discoveries.
I see that.
And speaking of sharing,
Okay.
I'm really intrigued by the fact that he writes in both Norwegian and English.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about that choice?
It's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
On one level, it's a way to connect with his Norwegian heritage and a wider audience.
Right.
But I think it also speaks to a deeper desire to break down barriers and create a more inclusive space for dialogue.
It's like he's creating a bridge between cultures and languages
Yeah.
through reading
Yeah.
and engaging with his ideas.
Absolutely.
And it's a reminder that learning can transcend geographical and linguistic boundaries.
It really is.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Thanks.
It's a subtle but powerful statement about knowledge and the importance of diverse perspectives.
Definitely.
He even encourages readers to use tools like Google Translate
Oh,
or AI summarizers to bridge the gap if they don't understand both languages.
I didn't know that.
It's like he's saying that technology can help us connect in new ways.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and that ties back to his fascination with the relationship between technology and humanity.
It does.
We see it in his reflections on education, in his interest in AI,
Yeah.
and even in his choice to make a bilingual, digitally accessible publication.
Oh, right.
It's like he's constantly exploring the ways technology can both enhance and complicate our lives.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to acknowledge the potential downsides, the dual-edged sword aspect.
Right.
But he's also clearly excited about the possibilities, especially when it comes to fostering connection and understanding.
Absolutely. And that's what makes Digital Coffee so engaging.
It really is.
He's not just presenting information.
Right.
He's inviting us to grapple with these complexities alongside him,
Okay.
to think critically about how technology shapes our world and how we can use it in ways that align with our values.
It's inspiring me to think more about my own relationship with technology
Me too.
and how I can use it to learn and connect.
Yes.
I'm also struck by how open and personal he is in his writing.
Oh, yeah.
He shares his love for his family, his experiences as a DJ, his reflections on work-life balance, even his temporary setbacks.
Yeah.
It's a side of him you don't always see in online publications.
You're right. That vulnerability makes him incredibly relatable.
It really does.
It reminds us that behind all the tech stuff, there's a real person with real experiences.
Yeah, it makes his writing feel more authentic and approachable.
Right.
Like you're having a conversation with a friend rather than reading an article.
And that conversational style is a key part of what makes Digital Coffee so unique.
I agree.
He's not trying to be an authority.
Right.
He's simply sharing his thoughts
Yeah.
and inviting others to join the conversation.
It's like he's welcoming us into his digital living room
I like that.
for a cup of coffee and a chat about the things that matter to him.
It's a nice way to think about it.
And somehow he manages to blend all these elements, the personal and the professional, the digital and the analog, the Norwegian and the global, into a cohesive whole.
It's a testament to his ability to connect seemingly different ideas and experiences.
Right.
It's like he's found a way to bring all these parts of himself into a single conversation.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like he's created a space where technology, culture, personal reflection, and intellectual exploration all come together over a cup of digital coffee.
Well said.
But you know what I'm really curious about now?
What's that?
How does all of this, his unique background and interests, influence his writing style?
Okay.
Does it make him particularly good at explaining complex topics?
That's an excellent question, and it's
Yeah.
something I've been thinking about too.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a connection there.
Mm.
Teaching requires the ability to break down complex concepts,
Yeah.
to find relatable examples, and to spark curiosity. And
Right.
those are all qualities that we see in his writing.
It's like he's using his teaching skills to make us all better learners, even outside the classroom.
Precisely. He's not just informing us.
Right.
He's inspiring us to think critically and engage with the world in a more thoughtful way.
Well, I think we've all earned ourselves a real cup of coffee after this deep
I'm
dive.
about to go for one.
It's been an absolute pleasure exploring digital coffee.
I agree. It has been really interesting.
If you're looking for a blend of technology, education, personal reflections, and a dash of Norwegian charm,
Sounds like a good mix.
be sure to check out Digital Coffee by Christian Antonsen.
We'll include a link in the show notes.
And remember, as Antonsen would say, always make time for that after-dinner cup of coffee with the people you love.
Good advice.
Until next time, happy sipping and keep those brains brewing.
Yeah, it makes me think about how his approach might resonate with, readers from all backgrounds,
Yeah.
even those who aren't that tech savvy.
Right.
He seems to have a knack for making complex ideas accessible.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, he's always searching for the perfect analogy or real-world example to really make a point.
Yeah, like a teacher would.
Exactly.
And that approach can make even the most challenging topics, feel approachable,
It's true.
but engaging.
It's interesting to think about how digital coffee might evolve as Antonsen continues to explore new ideas.
Right?
He's already mentioned AI,
Mhm.
and I can only imagine where his curiosity will lead him next.
That's what makes it so exciting.
Is.
It's like we're all invited to participate in his exploration,
I like that.
to discover new insights along with him.
And who knows what he'll write about next.
Exactly.
Well, after this deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm definitely adding digital coffee to my reading list.
Good idea.
It sounds like the perfect mix of thought-provoking ideas, personal reflections,
It is.
and, a dash of global perspective.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that learning can be enjoyable,
For sure.
and that sometimes the most insightful conversations
Mm.
happen over a simple cup of coffee,
Absolutely.
whether it's digital or in person.
Couldn't agree more.
It's been a pleasure exploring the world of Christian Antonsen and digital coffee with you.
It has been, yeah.
If you're looking for a unique and engaging online read, be sure to check it out.
We'll include a link.
And until next time,
Yeah.
keep those brains brewing.